I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot. Shoot that. Hey, why not? Yeah, coming in hot. Just like the fajita. I write what I live. My life in the speaker. I'm nice with the flow. Just like the demeanor. I'm feeding my fans.
Welcome back, Flag members. It's Talking It Out with the Commish. It's our week 3 recap, and I have Turtle. Turtle 2-1, feeling pretty good after I obliterated your draft. Your draft. I mean, I didn't mean after. Like I texted you, I think the next day, and I said, look, like I wanted to revise my decision on putting you last. But you wanted that as bulletin board material, which I get.
Oh yeah, for sure. wasn't offended at all. I want to start at the bottom and hopefully work my way up.
For sure. That's good. I mean, your division's looking pretty strong, and I mean, we'll get into that later, but 2-1 should, at this point, looking at what your standings are, you're in a good position, and it's only going to get better. Potentially for one of you or Derek this week, so that's a big matchup. But we'll get to that in a little bit. So first things first, I just want to start us off. Me and Kenna were just having a discussion, and I wanted your opinion on it. And I'm sure this will get the group chat going a little bit. So, who is more famous, Tiger Woods or Taylor Swift?
Who is more famous?
Yes.
Dang. Unfortunately, now I think I gotta go with T Swift.
That's kind of what I said.
Also, if you don't know, like I am the most hated T Swift person in the world.
And you love Tiger Woods.
Yeah. I mean, I do love Tiger Woods, but T Swift, yeah, she ruined country music for me. And then after that, I was just like anti T Swift. So this whole rumor going out there that maybe from Eagles fans, she's dating Travis Kelce because she's an Eagle fan, and then hopefully she'll dump him during the playoffs. I hope that happens.
I figure it's just like they're just doing it so that she wants to date somebody famous, somebody like a bad boy like Travis Kelce, so that she can have more material to work off of. That's my opinion. I don't think she ever gets into a relationship thinking it's gonna last. She just likes to use it for ammo.
Agreed, but I mean that's a great question, but unfortunately, I think T Swift is outranking Tiger Woods now.
Yeah. So our theory was people that, like, if you ask anybody under the age of 6 that can talk, they know who Taylor Swift is. They're not going to know who Tiger Woods is. But if you ask anybody over the age of like 60, they're probably going to know that, that love sport. They're probably going to like know who Tiger Woods is. Might not know as much about Taylor Swift. So it is a good question. It might have been a Barstool question. We were going back and forth, but I think ultimately, unfortunately, I have to say Taylor Swift.
That makes me think of an additional question. What about Michael Jordan instead of Tiger Woods?
Yeah, I mean, the Jordan brand's been around for a long time, but even Jordan's legacy, like the kids that are like 10, 11, 12, they have no idea. Like, we lived through it, we saw his greatness, even if it was like towards the end. Like, I was pretty young still, like 96, 97. So but like that was just like embedded in my head that Michael Jordan's the greatest player ever. But if you've never seen that person play,
yeah, you're not gonna know.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much meaning behind it. So it's definitely like a good question. And it does have a lot to do with the popularity of right now. But we will get on with it. So This is the what were they thinking calls of the week. I'm starting out with the O Brothers, Where Art Thou? Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with them. I was over the house watching the Eagles game with them um on Monday night, and they were pretty depressed, I gotta say. Like they were basically just like, who do you want? Just take anyone. I don't care. Like it can't be a Schwint that wins. I'm like, I get it, but I don't really like. There wasn't like. I just think that I mean for Tyler, it's tough. I mean, at least he and Zach's making some moves, but for Tyler, like he's had a lot of you know players fall to injury. I looked at his lineup today and I felt really bad for him. He can't even put a lineup together that's over 100 points. And then Zach at 1 and 2 could be 2 and 2 and put himself right in it. Um, it's a big week for the Bear brothers. They're
Zach is
playing.
0-3.
What's that?
Zach is 0-3.
He is. Okay, so yeah, you're right. Tyler's the one that's
Tyler's
one
the
of
one that won.
so they're both going to be 1 and 3 most likely, unless Tyler gets some Eckler news that if Eckler plays, Tyler could see himself out of this. He did return to practice, so that's a good thing. But yeah, that's looking bad. So yeah, brothers, I'm gonna need a little bit more out of you guys. Yeah, it's looking rough right now. And then I'll let you go to your point. You put down the records of the stepchildren, Bear Scott family, and the Schwinn family, pretty even across the board.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised in doing that, but I was just like curious. I was like, oh, let's see what it's at. And as much as I don't know, for some reason this fantasy season is just different. And I think we say that every year, but like this year seems very weird to me. And
It's the whole dynamic
even
has been weird. Yeah.
yeah, like even like I don't think Zach and Freddie's team are necessarily that bad. It's
Mm-mm.
just the way it goes in fantasy.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to take Zach's team, put his team from into last year and just like plop that team in, Zach's team is a top team. Like he has some players that are just I don't know if they're aging or if they're just like I don't know what it is, but I guess what's weird is the stars of last year aren't really the stars of this year yet. That doesn't mean that it can't happen, but I think that's what a lot of it is. Like we're and there's just a lot of like confusion. Like when is like Joe Burrow gonna throw for
Oh,
multiple touchdowns, or when is like uh like we had a week of Josh Jacobs rushing for negative yards, and he led the league in rushing last year. So um, just a very strange start to the season.
yeah, and I think I have it probably down on our list coming up, but like I told Zach even yesterday, like Derrick Henry had 2 points. Like
Yeah,
I can't
I
remember the last time Derrick Henry had 2 points in fantasy. So it's just been like I
yeah.
said, we said it's been a weird season and trying to get these average guys putting up 15, 20 points normally are just struggling.
hmm I do recall last season Derrick Henry started the year really slow, and I was like thinking like he was washed, and then he came on strong. So like maybe that's the case, but I I feel like Tennessee's spiraling quick, and I think like they just have some deeper issues, and if they're not going to play in a positive script, it's going to be tough. But that's you know discussion for another time. But yeah, so the you and JL 3-3. JL had the big win against me. Um, and then I guess he took two losses. Is that correct? Yeah. And then you're 2-1. So yeah, so we're 3-3 there. The Bears got 5-7. My brother's just plummeting that right now. Me and Derek accumulate for 4 wins, and then the Schwint 7-5. The Schwint 7-5 feels much stronger than 7-5.
Yeah, I mean, 6 of that is Eric and Zach
Mhm.
combined. So
But if you think about it, like Freddie's 0-3 and could easily be 2-1. Like,
yeah.
so that those 5 losses, 3 of them are from Freddie. But his team's like really good. And speaking of Freddie, Raheem the Dream, uh, the nightmare maybe for some people in this league, but um, that was tough to see. And we'll get into that because he obviously made the dud. He might make the dud like of the century of like or
Dud of the year.
yeah, actually no, not dud. I mean all bench first team. So Raheem the Dream just 40 some odd points and on Freddie's bench. So that's tough to see.
My man is ranked number 1 out of all running backs.
Yeah, and you would never guess that, especially I mean, I was talking to somebody at work today about like A Chain, and he was like, I really want him. And don't get me wrong, he's going to be a great player. Like I think he's going to have some good weeks. He'll never have a week like that in the rest of his career. That's
Yeah.
my opinion. Like he had 4 touchdowns.
Let's see. Yeah, 4 altogether, 3 rushing and 1 receiving.
I can't see that happening again, like ever. And like that's like the dude's like second game of his career, and he probably is going to have a pretty long career.
Just rushing wise, he has 41 attempts for 240 yards and 6 touchdowns already.
Yeah, so he's I think so Zach Bear picked him up, right? So that's a good pickup there. I'm sure he'll be inserted in immediately. Um, but yeah, so I loved your last point um, because there was some chatter amongst. I at least know I was involved in a few different trade talks today alone, not even seeing that. And I know Derek is always itching, but trade itching time. Like this is the time where people just are like getting a little bit uncomfortable with like some of their scenarios. They're looking to maybe push some players because they have players coming back, so they're trying to like. So there's just like a whole lot of like different things going on right now. So
Yeah,
I'll let
it's
you
like
go.
yeah, it's just even if you're even if you're doing well, you're trying to improve your team, even if you're suffering right now, you're trying to improve your team. So it's just I mean, I've talked to maybe 2 people this week. But it's always on the back of my mind like every day, Everything
Yes.
you're looking at your team and you're like, who can I try to improve but also not digress the other way?
Hmm. Yeah, and there's obviously the two ways of looking at it. It's like you can consolidate 2 good players and get a great player, or you can trade a great player and get 2 good players, or or you can go 1-for-1s or whatever it is. But there's like usually people have some motives behind it. So like, and I truthfully I don't even know where I'm at with it, so I haven't like really pursued trading that much yet because I'm still trying to figure out my team. Like I'm like I don't know. I could consolidate and upgrade, or I could just hold my depth. Like I feel like different ways about it. So
Yeah,
uh
and that's how I feel. I mean, I got thankfully have Kamara coming back from suspension.
huge. Let me
And
make a point about that. Not only, and maybe this is wishful thinking because I have him on another team. He's not coming back from an injury, and that's what I think a lot of people are forgetting.
yeah,
He's been working out, and they said like in the off season he was like in the best shape he's ever been in. So you're getting a running back that wasn't hurt. He just was suspended at like just like a gift from God, just like handed to you. Like here you go. Here's like a top 10 running back. Um, but I mean, obviously they lost
and
Carr, so the dynamic's going to be strange here. So
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how that is with Winston. But yeah, I mean Jamal Williams on the IR right now too, so it's not really like they have much depth either
Yeah.
way. So
No,
um
it's exciting for the league. Um, I'm looking like I'm not saying I want you to like win, like I want to win, but I'm excited for Alvin Kamara. I've always liked him. I think he's a dynamic back, and I think it's good for the league. Especially because it's a league. This year's just the running backs have sucked, and there's just not many good running backs right now, other than the Dolphins, which nobody saw coming. Um, but yeah,
yeah, and I mean again, we could probably go through everyone's list of injuries, but just again, personally, like Aaron Jones was number one running back after week one, and then
mhm,
the dude's been dealing with a hamstring last couple of weeks. So it's
yeah.
just
And
you lose one
speaking
guy,
of
you get another one back.
Yeah, speaking of like the itch to trade and everything, like I'm a big Aaron Jones fan, so like just let me
How,
know. Let me know
how did
how
I
much.
know that this was going to happen? I knew that Matt was going to somehow have a plug for a trade during.
I'm just saying, there's a few things we can maybe work out, and then we'll do it off air. But yeah,
I mean, you're also looking. I would just like to say I have three quarterbacks right now on my team.
I was cracking up earlier. I liked your team name QB Misfits. It's really funny. I was gonna say you could call it QB roulette. You just pick it out of you could just draw it out of a hat. Okay, I'll start Gino this week.
I'm kicking myself for not putting in a waiver for Jordan Love because I was so pissed to wake up this morning and be like,
Okay.
freaking that bear.
I want to say because this is really funny. And people are gonna say I'm lying. This is already turning into a great talking it out. People are gonna say I'm lying on this, especially Derek. Um, so I did not set an alarm.
No, I don't. I already don't believe the story.
I could call Kenna in right now to verify. So I texted Derek early this morning and I said, I forget what it was along the lines of like I slept in the guest room basically because I had alarms and Kenna makes me sleep in the guest room on Tuesdays because she knows
Yes.
I'm waking up early, but none of that is true. No alarm. I got up to the bathroom at 3:35. I looked at my phone. I said, "Oh man." I looked at my watch. I go, "Oh, we're pretty close to the waiver turnover where they become free agents." So I'm like, don't do it. Just like wake up in the morning later on and do it. No. What do? I go to my phone and I'm like, well, I think they like it processes at 3:50. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like stay up because now we're talking it's like 3:43. And I like go on and I see the waivers have like
At
processed.
3:41, the waivers claim, and my man grabs Jordan Love at 3:44 in the morning.
I promise there was no alarm. I It does feel like there was probably an alarm, but I promise you there was not an alarm.
I don't care, even if it's true that there was no alarm. I will never believe that there wasn't because how the heck
Yeah,
do
that's
you
fair.
find
I
that? that
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Especially because I had said to somebody, I was like, "Oh, there's nobody." As somebody at work, I was like, because they were like, "Are you putting any waivers in?" I'm like, "Nah, there's nobody out there that I want." And then I like looked at my team. I'm like, "Well, Jordan Love could maybe fit on the roster." So,
Dude, I was gonna get if I got him, I was gonna easily play him this Thursday.
and I
didn't
have to
recognize
do some research on that.
I didn't recognize how much he's been, even though the Packers seem to be not be doing well, he's been killing it fantasy wise.
Yeah, he's a solid like 25 in his first 3 games. So, um, we will continue on because this could go on all day. So our first team all bench, Raheem Mostert, 41.7 points. That's just insane. And to think that two running backs did that is like just crazy. Like in the same game, same team. And then you went with Thielen, which I loved. So I didn't even realize you have Thielen.
Yeah, so I picked him up Sunday because of the Aaron Jones news because
It's a
that
great pickup.
prior to kickoff, I mean Aaron Jones was like practicing, which was unheard of, and he was supposed to play. And then I was like, well, I got to get a bench spot, and
Yeah,
I just went with Thielen. Then he had that amazing
absolutely.
game, and I was like, oh, well, I'm actually not mad at it. He had a great game, but
No, you manage well. Like you always like maximize roster spots, put people on IR when you need to, pick up players. Like whenever I throw somebody onto IR, like it's a free spot. Just go pick up anybody. Like you don't even
yeah,
have
and
to
I'm
need.
on that point. I'm actually shocked. Not that our league is terrible at that, but there are a couple people that I've seen have
Yes,
open bench spots, and I'm like, it's
yes,
a free bench spot, guys.
yes. I saw that myself, and I'm like, come on, guys. Like we're better than this. Uh,
Yeah,
we won't name any names, but Cortland Sutton, Tank Dell, but another few wide receivers. I own Sutton. I think now at this point I have to play him. Tank Dell, if JT plays him, probably wins. Um, or it's gonna he wouldn't have won, but it would have been pretty close. Some Tank Dell looks like he could be for the record also. JT owns two players named Tank.
really, that's a great fact.
Tank Dell and Tank Bigsby. I don't even know any other people named Tank in my like I've ever met in my life in like this long of existence.
If I didn't love wait, who has him?
JT does.
Me too.
I mean, he
Yeah.
played he played it right. He wanted to see one more week out of him.
Well, he's in right now, so
Yeah. Um, and I went Lamar. You went DeAndre Swift. Swift's been killing it. That's a great thing for the Eagles. I had sent that tweet in to our group chat earlier today saying how you know how the Lions basically screwed up that whole draft and not getting Carter, trading down, got Gibbs, which Gibbs is good, but they just don't use running backs correct there. But everybody said DeAndre Swift was a east west runner, and we've been just like going north south with him, just up straight up the gut. He's looked awesome. Let's just keep him healthy.
yeah, it's been good. I texted Zach Swint that night and was like, "Yo, you playing Swift next week?" Because he's been killing it the last 2 weeks, and he was like, "Absolutely."
Yeah, I mean he's Zach has a good problem. He has a lot of options, and um, Swift just adds to it. So Lamar, I mean Tyler did make the right choice in going Tua. Lamar just happens to be another really good player. So I mean, if I'm Tyler, I'm trying to look for a team that's light on quarterbacks and seeing if he can at least get something for either Lamar or Tua. Just like he needs something. Just take a low end anything. Like um
Yeah, I texted him that day and was like, "I'll give you my whole team for Tua."
yeah, I mean he'd be smart to shop him. Some teams in this league don't care about quarterbacks. Some teams in this league very value it very much. Tua, if I'm Tyler, I'm definitely going to try to trade. I would like be like, hey, league, whoever wants either Tua or Lamar, propose me something, and let's see what we got. And I'd try to be making something happen by the end of this week. Um,
Yeah, that's possible.
so that is our first team all bench. Do you have anything you wanted to add? I know I cut you off there.
Oh no, I think we're good. I mean, they're like you said, especially with Tyler, it's like he has a good problem quarterback wise. So Lamar having him last year, such a frustrating player watching their games, but he
Yeah,
seems to get yards and the points in the end.
yeah, yeah. He is frustrating, but he looks to be coming back to speed. Looks good. Um, and so our studs of the week, um, Keenan Allen was just. I have Keenan in a full PPR, and I think he put up 51 points.
Dang.
Like 18 what was that, 18 catches or something? Like
Yeah,
over 200 yards, a passing touchdown. Like it was Keenan Allen is just fought like talk about old father of like time. He's pretty old. Like he's getting up there. He looked gassed during the game too.
you're right. I mean, he is he is father time, but I mean, I had him last year or 2 years ago, and same deal, man. It doesn't matter who else is on offense. He's gonna be the guy getting the things. And that touchdown pass was sweet.
Yeah, that was a
I'm
great
not
pass.
I'm not just saying that because I have Mike Williams, RPI, Mike
Yeah,
Williams another season.
poor guy.
But I mean, Keenan Allen's just gonna keep dominating now without Mike Williams there. So
Yeah, I mean, somebody like put a side by side of like they said like he had like more passing touchdowns or passing yards than like Justin Fields or something. It was like really funny. Like but no, he's 31. I just looked it up because I was curious, but it just he just feels like he's been playing for so long. So I mean, he's probably getting up to 8, 9 years in his career, but it just kind of reminds me of like that, like a Larry Fitzgerald, like always open, always knows where to go to the spot, smart, just a great player.
yeah, that's a great comparison.
Um, Zach Moss. This is for Eric because I just rag on Zach Moss all the time to him. But nobody saw this coming. Like 21 and a half out of Zach Moss, 122 yards, a receiving touchdown. Um, First, that game was crazy. Indianapolis should never, with Gardner Minshew, should never beat Baltimore. But Zach Moss has been carrying the team, giving them some life. And I'm sure Indianapolis is like, you know what? Fine, we could probably get by with him for a year. Maybe they try to shop Jonathan Taylor a little bit harder this year from the Colts organization, seeing that Zach Moss is perfectly capable. And once Anthony Richardson comes back, he'll be taking on more of a running role. But Zach Moss, 21 and a half.
Yeah, he had I think he had like 18 last week when I played Eric. So and
Yeah,
he didn't even play week one. So
yeah. He looks good.
definitely.
Nobody saw that coming. Um, I went Devontae Adams, your guy, and this is like not just stud of the week, like he's been stud of the season so far. And I'll be the first to admit I was not big on him going into it. I love Devontae Adams. As a player, I just was very unsure about him with Jimmy Garoppolo. I just didn't really trust Garoppolo that much. But he looks solid as always.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. When I drafted him, I think he was my besides keeper, like actually first pick, and
Hmm.
I was not that I didn't want to take him, but same reason. It's like you don't know. He's a great receiver, but Jimmy G, Las Vegas,
Hmm.
they're okay, not great, but and that game against Zach last week, was pretty close until that Sunday night game, and then they were just literally throwing the ball to Devontae Adams every time, and I was like, yes, keep doing it.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a quarterback and I had Devontae Adams, I often say that about like even with like I'm watching like the Eagles game or something. Like if you have a guy like AJ Brown who is physically open, it feels like on every single play. Like he's bigger, stronger, faster. He can run whatever route you want. Like why don't quarterback like I know they get their I know they have to spread out their targets and they can't just keep going to some but sometimes like you just have to. And like that's what Garoppolo's been doing. He's like he's the best player, so why would I do? Although gotta admit that the guy on the other side of him, Jacoby Myers, has actually played pretty well too.
Dude, I love Jacoby Myers. I had him last year with the Pats, and I don't think he scored a touchdown the whole year, but he was getting all the catches.
Yeah,
So I'm pretty happy for him that he's in a new spot. And
he
besides,
actually is putting up great numbers.
yeah, I think he was out 1 week with a concussion, but besides
Hmm.
that, I mean, he's been a really good number two.
Yeah, yeah, he is like Jacoby Myers has 22 targets, and never would have thought we'd be discussing Jacoby Myers on talking it out, but here we are. And so you went Tua. We talked about him already. You're one for him. 30. So Tyler, if you're listening, maybe work something out with Turtle here. Um,
I mean, I won't say no.
36 points and easily the highest powered offense right now. They're clicking on all cylinders. What do you got for Tua? Anything?
I was just trying to pull up his dun dun
He's
dun.
QB3 at the moment. Um, he has to be like leading in yards. Um,
Yeah, I think this Buffalo game should be. I don't know if it's gonna be like crazy offensive, like it would be against Kansas City, or if it's gonna be completely opposite of last week. But he'll still continue to climb up
mhm.
and do well.
Yeah. No, I think he has a pretty. I mean, that's a tough division they're in, but when you have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, you got those running backs out of the back. Um, you got everything you need. So just throw
I
the
mean,
ball.
I would still rather be the Eagles right now, where Miami looks like they're clicking on all cylinders, and the Eagles are still not there. But
100% agree. And for what it's worth, the Eagles have a way better defense. So, um,
very true.
and they can beat you in many different facets, not just, um, passing, running. Like they can do it all. So, it would be that would be a really fun Super Bowl, Miami, Philadelphia.
They play each other week 7, 8.
Okay, mark that on the
So
calendar.
yeah, we'll have a preview.
Yeah. So our last points, I went Kenneth Walker. I don't always pick studs from teams that lose, just because they don't really add to you winning. So, but Kenneth Walker, this feels like a Derrick Henry situation. Not Derrick Henry. Like, not that Kenneth Walker was bad last year, but Kenneth Walker looks really good right now. And I picked up Charbonnet in the draft thinking like they're going to phase out Walker. Like he didn't have the best year last year. And, JL doing what JL does, just rejuvenating running backs. Uh, Ranked third. Um, he has 200 yards, 4 touchdowns, 55 fantasy points. So he's looking pretty good.
Yeah, also a reason why my boy Gino isn't putting up as many numbers, which is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kenneth Walker looked really good last game.
Yeah, they're just feeding him the ball inside that 20, letting him do his thing. And you went Bills defense, which is fun to see, interesting to see after all our defense bashing or for defense. But 32 points, kind of unnoticed because Zach Schwinn owns them, and like they're like, oh, who cares? Zach already has like 6 players that can do that. So, 32 points out of the Bills D.
I certainly did that, not just to make Zach feel better, but also, as you mentioned, that lovely defensive conversation we always had. I was like, well, here's another defense that scored a lot that people won't like, but
9 sacks against and 9 sacks last week, 4 interceptions, a touchdown. Yeah, so now the Eagles get to play Washington, so that should be fun. Um,
yeah, and the Bills have to play Miami, so
yeah. So yeah, the Bills, that'll be interesting. But yeah, 32 points, and we can move on to our duds. So you on the flip side, you went heavy defenses here, Jags D, Dallas D. I love to see the Dallas D with -2 points. Love to see it. I don't think JT loved to see it. I think he thought Arizona, this is actually I know for a fact because he texted me right before the game saying my only hope is an early Pollard touchdown and then let Dallas D do what they do. So Dak doesn't play much. So -2. -4. This is where the defense is. To me, it sucks having defenses because not that like lost JT the game, but imagine if JT loses by 2 points or 1 point. Like it's just too wishy washy for me.
I mean, so in that case for Dallas, I do agree because obviously everyone thought that they were gonna dominate the Cardinals and not be as bad, but you know, it's like
Hmm.
everything else in fantasy. I'm a given Sunday, so and the Jags defense I actually was surprised about because they were pretty high ranked for their matchup as well, and then they got torched by the Texans.
Yeah. Both very much surprises. Like going in, both people probably were like felt really good about their situations there. Um, I went Josh Kelly because, and you could almost say Josh Kelly or AJ Dillon because they're both in similar roles right here. Like, here's your chance to like carve out long term like playability, I guess if that's a word. But Josh Kelly, no Austin Eckler there, and with AJ Dillon, no Aaron Jones, just not talk about not taking advantage of opportunities. 2.2 out of Kelly. Um, just that's
Yeah, and AJ Dillon with 3.3. So
yeah. So like for me, that was like they're very similar situations where they could have like long term, like for the rest of the year, like been like, for me, it'd be like Josh Kelly, like go sit down. Like when I need you, we'll call you back. But like I know AJ Dillon holds a little bit more value. But yeah. And then I went Brees Hall 3.2. And unfortunately for Brees, it's not going to be great for him as long as Zach Wilson is running the show there. Because, I mean, who's scared of. And nobody's scared of Zach Wilson. So they're just going to go single coverage, stack the box, stop the run, and let Sauce Gardner take care of one of the receivers and then, whoever plays opposite him.
yeah, I mean, and with I don't think Zach obviously Zach didn't play him last week, but same thing with Dalvin Cook with like Brees Hall and the Jets. Like,
Yeah.
Dalvin can be a great player too, but it's just
Yeah.
that offense.
Yeah, for sure. And then I went Ridley, and you went Henry, and they're both good picks here. I went Ridley mostly because I'm just like frustrated with the Jaguars' offense. Um, I think Calvin Ridley looked so good in Week 1 that I was like, okay, he's exactly how I imagined him coming back. And I don't know if it's Trevor Lawrence that's just not able to get him the ball, or what's going on there, or if there might even be too many like mouths to feed there, and like Lawrence is like if you look at like the sheet, like there's just like so many people get catches in that offense, where I think they're going to get better. I think Ridley's definitely going to have better days ahead. But the 5.5, and it was off of a bad week last week too. Um, just tough
Which on the other end, I'm looking at Christian Kirk to your point, who had 16.5 and then 13.4. So
yeah.
like so many people to feed that you would think
Mhm.
Ridley would be kind of the clear cut number one.
Yeah, well, you take like I think Ridley was taken 4th round, like about the same time roughly that Keenan Allen's getting taken, where like what you're getting with Keenan Allen. He's their number one, like he's getting fed the ball, like that's what you want out of Ridley. So definitely like can improve, better days ahead, but we'll see. And Derrick Henry, you already mentioned like 2 points, like I don't know if we've ever seen that.
Yeah, he had a negative 0.7 at halftime. I was like, he probably hasn't done that ever before either.
No, and that's got to be frustrating. Like I wonder if that's like if that season continues like that, if we see Derrick Henry getting dealt at the deadline to a team that might need a running back. Um, Not the worst idea. So we will move on to the standings. Yeah. So the standings here we have Eric 3-0 and Zach Trent 3-0. Derek 2-1, you 2-1, Tyler 1-2, Zach Bear 0-3. Like I said, Zach's went 3-0. I'm 2-1, and then JL, JT 1-2, Freddie 0-3. We will get into our new and improved sulk meter. We have a few memes, photos. Try to somebody mentioned like, how about we bring back the memes and stuff. So this is a little segue into it. So I'll go through the standings out like I always do. I will name a team. You're gonna tell. We're gonna go through it and we're gonna discuss. So just for if you're listening and you don't necessarily have images to look at this moment, we have Drake in the bottom left, full green. Drake popping champagne, just super pumped, like you're winning the championship. We have Justin Timberlake, the "It's Gonna Be Me." You're feeling like it's definitely like your time. You're right there. We have Bruce. I think it's Bruce Banner, where he says to Captain America, "That's my secret, Cap. I'm always panicking." So like, you're like right there. You're kind of panicking. You're not like. He has a smile too. So like he's facetiously saying he's always panicking. He's not really. Um, to the right of that and to the orange is the "This Is Fine," with everything burning. Um, the dog meme, and then in the bottom
The best
left,
one.
bottom right, the Michael Scott "This Is the Worst." So we can go through. We'll go bottom up in each division. So Zach Bear, where are we putting Zach?
Oh man. I mean, I hate to do it, but I think my man is somewhere in between "This Is the Worst" and "This Is Fine" on fire.
Yeah. I think I would agree. Right, dead in the middle because he was probably like in the yellow, like kind of panicking last week, but I think after when you see the 0-3 and you know that pretty soon the Owen jokes are going to be coming, um you're definitely like drop down past like the "This Is Fine" to "This Is the Worst." Like, yeah, so I'm gonna say I agree, right in the middle, like right on that like line in between the orange and red. Um, Tyler Bear, I'm putting him in "This Is Worst."
Dude, I literally was gonna say that. I was like, I hate to say it, but my man, like you said, I mean, the injuries really are stacked upon him right now, and he just has nobody else going on besides the quarterback. So uh
Yeah.
even with a win already, yeah, I think he's even this is the worst.
He might even if there was something below it, like he would be below
He
that.
might, he might be there.
Yeah. Um, we have so yourself. So how do you feel?
Uh I think I'm probably steadily in "It's Gonna Be Me"
Yeah,
phase.
I would
Um
I would put you there too.
I could be, I lost last week to Eric kind of on the Monday night game. So like I could be 3-0 and he could be 2-1. So I can't
Mhm.
can't be too far down.
Yeah.
Uh However, I still feel like it's obviously still early, but right now, yeah, I'm feeling all right.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I would put you right there. Um, I or Derek, I know he likes to live in the red. He always thinks it's the worst. I'm gonna also say that I'm gonna put him in the yellow because he loves to panic. So, Derek is a big panicker. I'm going, yeah, that's my secret, Cap. I'm always panicking. Um, putting him right there because he's 2-1. I mean, most people would be like really pumped knowing that they get Cooper Cup back in like a week or two, and you get to have Jamar Chase, who's on the up and up, and then Cooper Cup, like you're saying, like he's looking good right now. So, um, but he's Derek loves to panic, so that's where I'm going to put him.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you. Uh, this week will be interesting, I think, because I'm playing Derek, so we're both in second, tied for
Mhm.
second right now. So obviously, if he wins, he's going to feel even better. But if he loses, then he's going to be like straight down to this is the worst again.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, it doesn't,
so
like, slowly fluctuate for him, it's either, like, here or then, like,
all the
full
way down. Yeah.
yeah. Um, Eric, where do you think Eric is? I know where he's at, but
I mean, how could Eric not be in
Mhm.
the major far? What is it? Poppin' champagne,
Yeah, it's Drake, yeah,
feeling
just
feeling good right now.
yeah, that's
Especially because my man has his Justin Fields as quarterback, who is just terrible, and
he
he's
is.
still, he's still winning. So not
Yeah,
to say the rest of his team isn't good. His rest of the team is good, but like if he had a weakness, that's it. But he's still winning. It's kind of like the Eagles. They're not great yet, but they're still winning.
yep. Yeah, you know, you're 3-0, like, you're feeling it, so definitely putting him with Drake. Freddie's gotta be where you think Freddie's at.
Oh man, I'm being 0-3. I think I'm trying to look at his matchup with JL this week. I think he is probably. I would say this is fine. I wouldn't say even on the line yet. I don't know. It's hard because he's 0-3. I get it, but
I
all
think
it
if
takes is one win to make you
I
feel
think if
fine.
yeah, I think if he thinks rationally about it, he would be like, "This is fine," with it burning. But I think after what the everything that, like, transpired last week, with, you know, the Mostert mishap, I feel like he's like, "This is the worst, like, this is absolutely the worst. I'm already 0-2, and then Mostert happens." Like, so, like, he's right in between it, but I'm gonna go more, "This is the worst." Um, and then
Yeah,
JT
I mean,
go ahead. What were you saying?
sorry. I mean, just looking at his team again, he's got Garrett Wilson that I think was his keeper, right?
Yeah. No, yes, it was his keeper.
He was his keeper. Thinking Aaron Rodgers would be on fire. Obviously, that panned out. You touched on Ridley earlier, having some down weeks. Uh, Devontae Smith had a down week, but has been okay. I don't know. I mean, the man has Justin Herbert, so that guy's putting up points. So
He has a good team. Like, so I said, if he looks at it rationally, this is fine, but it does sting when you're 0-3.
yeah,
Uh, so then next up is JT at 1-2. Um, he's definitely panicking. I don't know if it's past that.
yeah, yeah. I would put him right in the middle in that nice yellow panicking, as you said. I mean, I mean, JT is one of those people. I feel like it doesn't matter what his record is, you can never count him
Yeah.
out, especially because he could have won back to back championships if not for you winning
Yeah.
this past year, and he's always there. So
There's a little secret that I'm not telling anybody about with the with that, but it'll be known in a little bit of time. That's all I'll say. But I will say me and JT had some trade discussion today. And he did make the point that he said he is not overreacting yet. So there you go. He's right in the middle. Um,
he's not overreacting yet. He's trade itching. He's ready to go.
yes. John Leonard 1-2. I don't know if he feels emotions. He's
That's a
got to
good
be
point.
panicking a little bit, but he also probably knows that um, he's still in the third spot, but it's not a comfortable third spot.
Yeah, I mean his points for and against aren't that far off, and yeah, he's another one that I could never we can never count out because you never know
Mm-hmm.
especially as we're coming up on October, people like we talked
Yeah.
about. Ooh,
Palinagi.
this man's going to sail.
This
Like
is where he
I'm worried.
thrives. Yes, this is where he thrives. This month. So good luck to anybody playing them in October.
which is me.
So I am 2-1. I'm at the it's gonna be me point. Um, I'm not. I don't think my team is strong enough to win it all, especially get out of my own division. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely not panicking at this point, and so I'll say I'm Justin Timberlake at this point.
Yep,
Uh,
I would have picked that for you. So
yeah, I
I
think
mean,
Zach Schwinn has already got the trophy engraved. I think
nah, he's like Kirk Cousins on the NFL quarterback Netflix. He's got that spot already
he,
in his house, ready to go.
yes, yeah. So I'm pretty sure he just sent me the bill for the engraving. So, um, 3-0. I mean, the deepest, strongest team right now. So he's definitely on his Drake. Happy birthday, Danielle. It's her birthday today. So shout
Hey,
out
good shout
there.
out. I was gonna do that, and you beat me to it.
All right, yeah. I know you're easily the best when it comes to birthdays. Making sure that we get that out there. But
Okay.
yeah. So that was the Sulk Bus Sulk meter. Um, always fun. I try to keep switching up the memes and stuff. So for the Thursday night same game parlay, due to a lack of props available, we will be putting this on hold. Stay tuned for Moneyline Matt college picks of the week. Text Moneyline Matt to receive guaranteed locks for this weekend of 9:30. So feel free to shoot me a text. Got some ones on the burner already. I'm just waiting for some of the boosts, get that 50% boost for the odds. But I already got a few. But we can anybody that wants them, feel free to send me a text. 3-0 this year, just saying. So
Just saying.
our matchups. Right now my record's 6-4. The guest record is 4-6. This week, did I update? Yeah, we're good, right? Yeah. This week there's a lot of differences here, so I love it. So this is gonna really like this shows like there's some really close games coming up. Because for me and Eric, I think there's like a 0.1 difference at this point. You went Eric, I went myself. Just on, I think that's gonna be. I know that like you and Derek probably have the game of the week. I'd like to also throw me and Eric into the hat for game of the week as well. So, it's just
I
gonna be
mean,
a really fun matchup.
I would definitely go with you and Eric for sure. Like you said, it's 0.1 difference.
Actually, at it changed. It's 127.6, 127.6. So we're
Oh no.
looking at it even closer than expected. That should be fun. Me and Eric enjoy the back and forth. So I get to see him in about an hour and a half. We have cornhole tonight. That's why we're recording a little bit earlier. Um, so
I'm sure he'll be talking much trash to you.
yes, yes, he always does. The Zeebs Tyler matchup, things could be a little more interesting if Eckler plays, but I still think Zach wins. Sorry, Tyler.
It's just that year, Tyler. Sorry. Focus on school, man. Focus on
Yeah.
school.
JT, Zach, we both went Zach. Just too
I
much.
would I would like to say to JT, I went back and forth about this a lot. Like this was, I think, I don't know why. Like it's 2 points barely difference. So I think this is another good matchup. But since Zach Schwinn is undefeated, I just had to keep rolling with him.
So it looks like Zach just keeps shifting the lineup. Like I looked at, not that I'm like looking at Zach's team a lot during the day, but I look at it. I look at everyone's team throughout the day.
I was about to say, Matt looks at all our teams all the time,
Yeah.
guys.
Um, but he definitely didn't have Puka Nakua in the lineup. He had Miles Sanders in. So like Zach is definitely going through some tinkering here. Love to see it. But yeah, Zach, this should be a good matchup too. I love a little, so there's some brothers in playing, JT Zach Tyler. That'll be fun. And then Turtle Derek up there for the game of the week, just because it's the 2-1 aspect. Somebody's gonna get a sole possession of second place. So how are we feeling there?
I'm not feeling that great. Jamar Chase is starting to look good. Keenan Allen, obviously talked about, is looking good. Not that I don't like my team, but like, man, Dallas Goedert, my dude needs to, again, him or AJ Brown, who's going to score a touchdown first? I don't know, but I would not expect him to be this low so far. But
Yeah.
like we said, I got Kamara coming back, so that's a boost. Hopefully, Aaron Jones might come back, even though it's a Thursday night game, so I probably doubt it. But it should be a good matchup.
Yeah. No, it's a close matchup. I mean, a lot's gonna be riding on Kamara. I love that you're going with Thielen here. Like it's like there's a lot of like interesting plays like on both ends. It'll be fun to see that. So, I went Derek, you went yourself. Love to see it. Um, so yeah, that'll be good. And then our last game, JL versus Fred O. I'm going Freddie. I'm getting Freddie with the first win of the year. And you're taking JL, smart man.
Yeah, I don't ever go against JL. I don't
Yeah,
care what the record is.
smart man, smart man. Um, I just, well, Freddie looks like he has some tinkering going on as well. But at least he has Mostert in the lineup at this moment.
At this moment is
The key word.
keywords.
So,
As with me having three quarterbacks, who knows who I will actually play? I don't even know.
yeah, that's funny when I saw that today. I'm like, oh my gosh, who would have guessed Russell Wilson be doing this well? Just keep throwing the ball to Cortland Sutton. That's all I ask. Um,
Well, I mean, aren't they playing
the
gosh,
Bears.
yeah. So
It's a great matchup.
if the Broncos don't win against the Bears,
Yeah.
Sean Payton should just retire from coaching.
And I think like and if they I also like think like they come out I think the Broncos come out and smoke them. Like I almost would just say like take Broncos money line this week, like right off or not even money line, just whatever the points are, like it can't even be that much. Like I think the Broncos are a good bet this week. So yeah, matchups. I believe that is it. That's all I have tonight, Turtle. Do you have anything?
No, it's been fun. It's been good.
Yes.
Shout out to you for rocking the graphics always and supporting the Turtle Strong shirt.
Yep, got it on.
Representing. Love it.
And yeah, that'll be good. Thanks for being on, Turtle. And if you haven't signed up, there are a few like Zach, Tyler. There's a few people that haven't signed up. Get signed up so that we can chop it up on talking it out.
Yeah, man. I really want you and Ken to do it live from Disney. Just saying.
Yeah, but we don't have that long of a trip, so I'm like, maybe I'll get some. Maybe I'll do a Friday review or something live from there. Um,
There we go.
I'll
Getting
do
started.
something. I'll make sure something happens. But I think I saw Eric and JT are gonna do it, so that should be fun. That should be a good one anyway. So, yeah, so that's good. Everyone, good luck this week, and I'll be back next week.